Whoa, this is the Illusion reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. All right, we're doing Boycott Your Mind Part 2 because we got a lot of feedback going on, and that's half of what we're trying to do here is uncover what is the route back to source energy, man. So some of you understood exactly where I was coming from, and others were still attached to, a terrestrial point of view. First of all, let me make a couple things clear about myself personally. A, I believe in farmers. I believe in non-GMO food. I know that our fisheries are being depleted. I know that our environment is in grave danger of collapsing. I'm aware of the worldwide government clamping down on the rights of innocent people. I'm aware of the economic genocide being committed all around the planet in the name of the petrol dollar. I'm aware of just the basic disrespect world society has towards women. I'm aware of the miseducation of our youth. I'm pretty aware of what's going on, and I'm not discounting anyone's attempts to correct the wrongs. What I'm really trying to say is that the minute we begin to throw stones, even if we think we're throwing good stones, we're still throwing stones. We're still separating ourselves from the other people. And the minute we're in any kind of separation, we are in the problem, no matter how good our intentions can be. Look, I can only speak from my own journey through life. Once upon a time I used to be a big old-growth forest activist. I used to be a pretty rabid environmentalist, to say the least. And when I got involved in the environmental movement, I remember being told early on that you needed to pick your cause. Pick your cause, because there's just too much stuff going on to go and protect the entire environment. So, old-growth trees was my cause. But within the network of the environmental movement, I remember there was a gal, her main cause was dew drip. The fog coming into the trees and the water that comes off the leaves and nettles that goes into the groundwater that we drink. That was her cause, was dew drip. There was other gals that were in there they were all about moss and lichens. There were other people defending bobcats. There were other people defending microflora. Everybody had picked their cause, and they were giving their full effort to protect whatever it was they were trying to protect. So we all have to pick our causes, and I think that most of us who are watching this channel know that there's something wrong with the general atmosphere on Spaceship Earth, that we're not living the truly productive, happy existence that we could to the 100th percentile, that there are people that are getting shortchanged here on Spaceship Earth. And when any one person is not living to their fullest, it hurts all of us in our energy flow. One person being tortured on this planet is all of us being tortured. One person starving of malnutrition is all of us starving of malnutrition. And so I think that our society is, you look at history and doctrines and teachings and stuff, is people don't view Spaceship Earth as Mother Earth, as a living entity. I view our planet as a living entity, as a being. And so the more and more you begin to look at it, as people want to say that things aren't natural and unnatural and this and that, and I begin to broaden my perspective on life, is to realize that everything occurring on Spaceship Earth, Mother Earth, is all part of a natural process. That there is nothing on this earth that is not of this earth. And yeah, some of that stuff's real dirty and toxic and horrible, man. I don't dig the fact that right over there across the ocean, there's a bunch of nuclear reactors spewing stuff into our oceans. Yeah, Fukushima is still radiating the planet and polluting the fisheries, right? I don't know what I can do about that personally. I don't. I mean, I suppose I could go fly over there and drop a bag of concrete on it. I'm not really sure. It's a complex problem that the world seems to be ignoring. But don't let me deviate off the course I'm trying to go at here. As I'm not saying support corporations on any level. Corporations are the problem. But where do we start? Where do I start as an individual to correct this giant interconnected web of evil, if you will? For me, I used to be a finger pointer. I used to say, hey, if you're not about saving Portland, Oregon's drinking water, you deserve to drink mud. If you're not saving the old growth forest, you're lame, man. If you're not protecting our fisheries, you're the enemy. I used to be all about black and white, me against you. And that drove me into insanity, man. It made me crazy and depressed and bummed and unfit for human interaction. And as I've grown on this second chance of life, this journey, I've realized that the only true power I have over Monsanto, British Petroleum, Weyerhaeuser Industries, the Federal Reserve Bank, the list goes on, is me. And that's all I'm trying to express the other day was, if I choose to be throwing stones and saying that you're less than because you're doing your whatever it is you're doing, if I'm pointing my finger at you and saying you're wrong for doing whatever you're doing, I am now as culpable in the chain of pain as all these corporations. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't give information out. That doesn't mean that people can't give information to me. But the minute anyone's telling me or I'm telling them that they're wrong, that their way of life is incorrect, I'm just as bad as any of the evil entities. The only way that I've figured to do it is to be part of the solution. Look, since we've been doing this YouTube thing, I quit smoking cigarettes, right? It's almost a year and 9 months I haven't smoked a cigarette, right? But nowhere here on this video have I said you should not smoke cigarettes. You're supporting an evil entity. You're killing yourself. You're going to give yourself cancer. You must stop smoking cigarettes. No. I've done my very best to say, hey, it's a personal choice. And everything I just said and pointed right there, I knew to be true. But you weren't going to get me to stop smoking cigarettes till I was able to stop smoking cigarettes, till I was able to make a conscious decision to want to change my own life for the better. And yeah, I don't support the horrible entity that is the cigarette corporation. I don't support the cancer that was going in my lungs. I changed that frequency. Recently, about a year ago, I stopped drinking coffee. Now, you look into coffee, and I'm sure there's a lot of, good shade coffee production going on. The coffee industry is getting better, but it's still a really environmentally destructive crop out there. But I didn't quit coffee and say that you shouldn't drink coffee and start getting on my high horse about, I don't drink coffee and it's an evil entity and you must join me on my anti-coffee crusade. No, I just stopped drinking coffee because it was making me, as my body form, not function properly. And the minute I stopped drinking the coffee and I began to feel better, my energy began to get better. Now, because I don't drink coffee, I'm not supporting Starbucks, I'm not supporting the boats bringing the coffee, and ultimately, there's probably, a bag of coffee a day that some factory down in Venezuela is not making. It's so complex, this issue that we're all facing here of that we live on a closed loop spaceship, and that we have finite resources, and that people are choosing to do really corrupt and evil things with those resources. Personally, for me, I made a decision recently when the Terra Cruiser died not to purchase another vehicle. And I decided I'm going to begin to use the mass transit in my community and get off petroleum. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say that because you're eating organic food, but you're taking your car to go buy organic food, that you're part of the problem. No. See, that's the paradigm with finger pointing that ultimately ruins us. Is me as a human being, I can't say that anybody's doing anything wrong because they're not doing what I'm doing, because we all have to make decisions in our life, and each one of them's given. The web is too intricate. For example, this apple I have right here, it came from the supermarket. Guaranteed there's a farmer's market somewhere where I could go get an apple grown off of someone's farm and support them. But in order to do that, to get the one apple, I have to begin a chain of energy consumption to go get that apple. Now, I could just walk down to my local supermarket and support Safeway Corporation, dude, which I'm not exactly wild about. Or, I wonder if Vital Zoom-In's over there. I think there's actually right here all of a sudden, well, maybe there's an organic farm somewhere in my community, so I can begin to look into that thing. Look, it's a complex time we live in. It's a complex issue. For example, I'm making this video on an iPhone. Now, it's been shown that the iPhone is manufactured by slave labor over in China. That basically there's been blood found on the components of the phones. People are killing themselves because they don't want to make the phones. Does that make me a murderer? Well, maybe. Maybe it does. Maybe I have to take responsibility for the fact that I'm choosing to use this phone. But now my choice is this. I can sit and I can play video games on the phone, or I can use the phone as a tool to try to liberate myself and whoever's in the reach of my phone from the bondage of the mind. And the bondage of the mind tells me that someone's less than me because they aren't doing what I'm doing. And that's judgment. And that's part of the problem, because from my studies and from my examination, that is how the worldwide corporate banking cartel is enslaving the worldwide population and forcing us to eat genetically modified food and putting fluoride in our drinking water and killing the fish and spreading radiation over the planet and blah, blah, blah. The way they're doing that is having us argue amongst ourselves and point fingers at each other. The finger I shouldn't be pointing is not at you, it's not at me, it's at them. And we all need to be doing that together. But the thing that we really realize is that we shouldn't be pointing fingers at anyone. The real weapon we have is love, is our heart. And we need to begin to change the frequency, because them is always going to be a black and white issue. It's always going to be contained, even at its base core, in resistance, with aggression, with a verse. It's us versus them. It's you versus me. That entity, that energy in itself is very negative and very counterproductive. And all I know, the only thing that I've found that even slightly seems to be changing the giant interconnected web of like lameness going on Spaceship Earth is me getting my own energy field correct. Look, there are certain days that I want to scream at the world, scream at people, launch armed rebellions, go crazy. But that energy's toxic. That energy's not productive, because these people that all live around me, they may not be awake to what's going on. They may not know. So are they at fault? Are they the problem? Because we've had societies in the history of our planet run this experiment to say that certain groups within a certain society, that they're wrong, that they're less than, that they don't deserve their right to exist. And it's been a pretty negative result. I don't think anyone's truly gone down the rabbit hole of what we're really talking about here. For me, I'm not signing up to hurt another human being. Look, I'll make this clear. I believe in defense of oneself. I believe in defense. Someone inflicts violence upon me, I can defend myself with all means necessary. And yeah, you could go say that even on a deeper level that the corporate world is inflicting violence upon me. But what am I going to do right here, right now, at this very moment? I'm going to try to remain calm. I'm not going to panic. I'm going to reach within myself, and I'm going to make myself radiate a positive energy. Because that is the hardest thing that any of us can do at any given moment in our life, is be positive and not go down into the deep, dark holes of negative energy. Yeah, I know there's a lot of heavy duty, bad stuff going on in the earth, but me committing more negative, bad actions is not going to fix that. Look, if I knew right now that house over there was enslaving someone, or torturing someone, or hurting someone, I would go over there and I'd put my life on the line to make sure that stopped. Yeah, if it's right in your face, you gotta act. But these larger issues of corporations and what we're doing with our dollars and the mere fact we're still using dollars, these are deep, deep, deep interconnected issues. And the minute we start pointing fingers at our fellow passengers, our fellow beings trying to solve the problem, the minute you're saying that I'm not doing enough to fix the problem on Spaceship Earth is a very, very dangerous line, because that's what the evildoers want us to do. The evildoers want us to fight each other. And I'm not fighting anyone anymore. I'm not fighting myself. I'm not fighting people anymore, man. It's just counterproductive. It's all about loving people, man. It's all about treating others as you would hope to be treated. It's all about loving thy enemy, man. It's all about love. It's not about hate. And the minute we point our fingers at someone else and say that they're less than, and we don't do that from a place of love, we are committing hate. Anyway, I thought I would take some time to articulate this issue, because I think it's very serious, and I think that we face a huge moment in time and space to either continue the chain of pain or break the chain of pain. Anyway, this is The Illusion. I'm going to eat my apple.